Hello, I'm excited to welcome you to Clarify with Taiwo Oderinde. And this is our first class, and our topic the topic we'll be considering is why you are not achieving your goals. Why you are not achieving your goals. And this is in an attempt to x-ray factors and reasons why many people set goals but they fail to achieve them. But before we do that, I would like you to meet your coach, Taiwo Oderinde. By the grace of God, that's my humble self. I have coached hundreds of young people. I've authored 2 books. I'm a speaker who has spoken in over 100 conferences, seminars, and talks. I'm an entrepreneur who currently manages multiple startups, and I've led in over 14 youth-oriented organizations. And I'm an active researcher in the field of microbiology and nanotechnology. All of this as I've been able to garner enough experiences, especially as it cuts across goal setting. And I believe that in this class you're going to get insights and you're going to get strategies that will help you to identify the wrong ways you've been setting goals and the exact right ways to go about it. So, by the way of introduction, Zig Ziglar said, "A goal properly set is halfway reached," which means that if you are not achieving the goals you set, it's likely because you're not really setting them right. So you're likely going to see some of your wrong practices as we proceed in this class. Number 1, you're setting too many goals for yourself. And when you do this, there are several problems attached. One of them, the first, is that you risk stretching yourself too thinly. You have limited resources, you have limited time, attention, energy, and capital available to you. So you will realize that some of your ambitions will inevitably get shortchanged when you set too many goals. Secondly, you lose focus on your priorities, because some of your ambitions will naturally be more important to you than others. So that means those ones that appear to be less important, you lose priorities on them. And a third problem with having too many goals is that it inevitably leads to feelings of overwhelm and frustration. You won't make significant progress towards achieving any of them. You'll be too distracted, overtaxed, overwhelmed, and frustrated. And there is nothing more discouraging than starting with a long list of goals and realizing down the road that you haven't managed to bring any of them to fruition. My friend, you need to understand the fact that though you have energy, you have the energy, you think you have the resources, but those things are limited. You have limited resources. So because of that, you must ensure that in order to manage your resources well, your time, your strengths, your finances, you must focus on few goals and ensure that you achieve them. So what is the solution to this problem? First, acknowledge that you have limited time to accomplish all the things you want to do, and not just time. You have limited finances, you have limited strength. So secondly, you must assign priority to each of the goals. You can have a general wish list and then make sure that you have a top priority goals list. A list where you have your top priority goals. Maybe you call them category A, then you have another category B, which might be of less importance, and then category C. So you prioritize your goals. And then thirdly, look for goals that overlap in some ways, such that when you achieve one goal, it leads to the achievement of the other one. So that will help you. And finally, you can just focus on the next 3 months. You don't need to now list all the goals for the year and now be encumbered and be overwhelmed with them. You can just target the first quarter of the year. These are the goals. These are the 3 things I want to achieve. The next 3 quarters of the next 3 months, these are the things I want to achieve. So focus on the next 3 months. Secondly, maybe you are letting fear dominate your headspace. Normally the brain is used to the way you live. The brain enjoys routines and complacency, and we go to great lengths to promote both. So striving to achieve goals threatens this comfortable state. The brain creates fears to attack: fear of failure, fear of success, fear of the unknown, fear about presumed weaknesses and shortcomings. Whatever form it takes, it erodes your self-confidence, and if you give it an audience, it will eventually convince you to give up. So fear causes inaction, which leads to failure. Failure reinforces the fear, which discourages taking action, and the cycle continues. So what is the way out? The first step is to overcome is to recognize the origin of the fear. Know where the fear is coming from. Is it fear coming from the fear of failure? Is it the fear of success? Is it because of your weaknesses? Is it because you feel you are not competent enough? Identify it. And then the second step is to reframe the manner in which you perceive success and failure. Sometimes what you call failure is just an opportunity to learn. So redefine what failure and success means to you. And then thirdly, commit to taking action. Clement Stone said, thinking will not overcome fear, but action will. And I believe you agree with me. Maybe there's a point, for example, I've actually personally experienced it. There was a point I wanted to participate in a debate competition. Before I was called out, I was vibrating, and in fact I was feeling like I should just go and hiss myself in the toilet. But when I was called out and I opened my mouth, in a few seconds the fear disappeared. So taking action makes fear to disappear. Thirdly, you're not achieving your goals probably because you are surrounding yourself with negativity. Each of us harbors an inner critic. This critic constantly highlights our faults, filling our heads with self-recriminating thoughts. It is the condemnatory voice that tells us we are not smart enough, we are not good enough, pretty or handsome enough. So your inner critic is the mouthpiece of self-doubt. So adding to that, of course, are negative people, the cynical, pessimistic and judgmental people that surrounds you. So negative people are everywhere, and the problem is that sometimes it takes a moment of negative thoughts to gain purchase. Once they do, the odds that you successfully accomplish what you set out to do plummet. So you must not give them access. You must not give such people access. So how do you handle such? What's the way out? First, you must tame your inner critic. Examine each accusation that comes from your mind, and then check whether they are actually substantiated. At the end of the day, you realize that some of those criticisms that come are not actually substantiated with facts and figures. Secondly, recall goals you have achieved in the past. Remind yourself about your previous successes, things you've achieved, and that will give you confidence to even do more. Ask yourself whether this judgmental voice has power over you due to past criticism from others. Is this voice coming again and again because some people have said some things in the past which is now affecting you? You must check for that. So now, what about the negative people around you? First, identify those people. And of course, there are some of them that to complain and to criticize is an habit for them. So you must recognize those people and give them less of your time and attention. Because if you give them the opportunity, they will monopolize your time, they will monopolize your attention, and then that will negatively affect you. So ask yourself whether a negative person in your life is motivated to criticize or discourage you by negative emotions. Probably maybe because they are jealous of you. So if that is the case, you withdraw from such people and then make connections with positive people that you meet, that will motivate you, that will stimulate you and challenge you towards the achievement of your goals. Number 4, probably because your goals are unrealistic. Maybe that's why you have been failing to achieve your goals. Ambition carries a risk. The eagerness to improve your life may prompt you to set goals that are idealistic and infeasible. Maybe you even set up white elephant projects. That path has only one destination, and that is disappointment. I can tell you that for free. Because setting challenging goals is commendable. In fact, it's advisable. But it is also important that your goals are achievable. Otherwise, you risk experiencing disappointment, failure after failure, until failure becomes the normal thing for you. Until you just realize that every time it is as usual. So what is the way out? Set milestones for each goal. Of course, for your achievable goals, you've already set achievable goals. Then you set milestone. I want to achieve this first, then this next, then this next. Then write the goals down and ensure that you review your available resources. This is very important. Look at the resources you have. Can these resources actually make this goal to come to reality? So that you will not be deceiving yourself, so that you will not be creating white elephant projects that at the end of the day will fail and you'll be like, oh, I failed again. Whereas in the first instance, the resources needed were not in place. So you must check for available resources. Okay, so let's move on. Number 5, maybe you are trying to impress others. For some, the desire to impress others is nothing more than a half-hearted attempt to dazzle people. It's not as if they really take it serious. So whether it succeeds is out of nominal importance to the individual. I mean, whether they are successful about impressing people or not, they don't really care. But for others, the desire to impress is much more important. It is a desperate bid for validation. When it comes to setting goals, this tendency to impress people imposes a disturbing side effect. So our aspirations stop being our own, and instead we reflect what others want from us. So you shouldn't just be so desperate to impress others, especially for validation. You must understand that you are perfect the way you are. You are good where you strive to become better, but not until you wait for somebody to validate you. So don't bother trying to impress people. Well, what is the way out? So let's check. So first, each time you set a goal, gauge whether you have been influenced by others' expectation. Examine it. And secondly, if you notice that one of your goals is designed to impress someone, because it is not really as if it is bad for you to impress people, but the problem is when you are so desperate about it that is your main goal. That's where the problem is. So if you notice that your goal is designed, a particular goal you have is designed to impress someone, try to pinpoint the source of your motivation. Why exactly are you trying to impress that person? Who is that person to you? Is it your spouse? Is it your dad? Is it your mom? Is it your boss? Maybe you are trying to impress your boss to get promotion. Well, some of these things might be necessary, but you must ensure that it's not your overall goal. It is because, okay, you desire promotion, then you are carrying out specific activities. So with that, you might be encouraged to go more into it. And thirdly, make a connection between each goal you set for yourself and the outcome you want to achieve. Let there be a connection, a feeling that you attach to. Oh wow, this is the goal I want to achieve. I want to travel out, get more exposure, and be happy, live happy life. So that happy feeling, ensure you feel it. Okay, I want to excel and come out and graduate with first class. Why? Because I want to feel prestige, I want to feel the honor. So connect with that feeling you actually desire to achieve. So there are practical reasons for setting goals to impress others. Of course, we cannot deny that, but such occasions are the exceptions to the rule. So spend the majority of your time, effort, and focus pursuing goals that complement your ambitions, not others' ambitions. Number 6, you haven't given yourself a compelling why. For example, suppose you set out to save $100,000. It is a laudable goal, of course, but without a purpose, it is an empty target. Purpose is what drives us to take actions. Purpose keeps us focused and motivates us to press onward even when the going becomes tough. So what is the solution in case you have not actually created a compelling why? You should find out a reason that, we just said in the previous point, you must make an emotional connection with your goal, and these connections will propel you to move on. So think about, how will I feel when I achieve this goal? If I emerge as the best student in class, how will I feel? If this business I'm setting up if it thrives and is generating income sustainably, how will I feel? So connect with that feeling, and then associate that feeling with your purpose. And finally, this third step is very important: keep a gratitude journal. Write the things you are grateful about, write them down. Doing so in the context of each of your goals. Now, a gratitude journal does more than merely focusing your attention on the things you are grateful for, sincerely. Because another thing it does is that it reminds you rather that you possess tools and resources because of those things you have identified. So tools and resources that will help you to get your desired outcome. So number 7, and this is the most critical, many fail to achieve their goals because they fail to take action. They fail to take action. Now, many people believe they are setting goals when they are actually doing nothing more than identifying their desires. Maintaining a wish list is fine, of course. I've mentioned that earlier. In fact, you should have a wish list, and out of your wish list you can create your goals list, the list of your goals. Wishes can become goals, but that will be through proper planning and execution. Inaction stems from one of these two causes, and that is laziness and over analysis. And both manifest via procrastination. So if you observe that you have been procrastinating, it's actually either due to laziness or over analysis. So first, start with an action plan, a detailed one that has everything you need to do, when you're going to do them, and how exactly you're going to carry them out. Then secondly, once you have created an action plan, focus on the actions you will need to take today and tomorrow. Stop disturbing yourself about the whole action you have to take for the rest of the month. Just focus on that of today and that of tomorrow. And then thirdly, use little pockets of time to take action. Of course, the thought of devoting hours at a time could demotivate you. For example, if you want to learn a foreign language and you are thinking of devoting 1 hour every day, that might not work. But what about you just committing, let's say, 15 minutes per day? Before you know it, the time is gone. And consistency is what matters in that instance. So these 7 factors are actually the reason why so many people fail to achieve their goals. So this is the exercise I want you to carry out and you're going to submit for a one-on-one session. Do you have any fear limiting you from accomplishing your goals? List them out, figure out its source, and highlight how best you think it can be addressed. Then secondly, have you identified negative people around you? How exactly do you intend to deal with them or to handle them? So write this down and let's discuss about it further in our one-on-one session. Yes, you can also prepare any other question you have alongside what we have considered, and that you can add them and let's discuss them on the one-on-one session. So thank you so much for your time and attention. And this class is actually powered by Taiwo Oderinde Pedagogies, a life coaching platform with the aim of educating and inspiring young people to be the best version of themselves. And this is from the team lead, Taiwo Oderinde. So this class is powered by Taiwo Oderinde Pedagogies, a life coaching platform with the aim of educating and inspiring young people to be the best version of themselves. Thank you for being a part of this class. I believe you have learned greatly. Okay, see you in the next class. Thank you. Bye.